broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Okay. Hey, Beastie Buzzers. We have a huge episode to recap tonight, so let's get roaring. I'm your host, Alikona Bradford, your boys and beauty expert. And to my left, I have a fabulous co-host.
Hi, guys. I'm Janeisha John, and you can find me at Janeisha_Miss VI.
That's right. I'm Alikona Bradford. You can find me at... Oh, I was gonna say Kiss My Passport. It's my old Twitter handle, at Boys and Beauty 01. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. If you're watching us live, you can also tweet at us, hashtagging BATBAB. Ooh, ABTV, BATB. There's a lot of acronyms going on in that. It's ABTV, BATB. Join us in the conversation by tweeting us. Make sure you follow us, support your hosts, and yeah, subscribe to Boys and Beauty with Alikona on YouTube. All right. Now that I've got all the plugging out of the way, why don't we get into the episode?
This was a serious episode.
There was a lot that happened tonight. A lot. And I have to bring up the first point tonight is something you actually said out loud and I was thinking, and I know all the beasties were thinking this too. Why was Cat planning this romantical evening with candles and blah, blah, blah? The girl is still in flannel. What is going on?
I don't know. She looks like a little tomboy.
I mean, your man is fine.
I know. There's no wonder why he fell asleep before the action, because she was just not exciting enough.
I mean, if we have any fellow beasties out there, okay, if your woman was wearing some lingerie, would you have fallen asleep? No, she's wearing plaid. Then what would happen?
Sleeping.
I mean, you're trying to get couples time, and it's not like an everyday event. I mean, he just moved in, and you're trying to keep things spicy.
I know. I don't know. I was really disappointed. I was like, that was the first thing I told you. I was like, why is she wearing this
Who
again?
wrote that scene? Who wrote that?
I think they did it to piss us off, but hey, it's okay.
I don't know.
They heard us last week. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord, get your life together. Anyway, okay. So we have that moment, and there's this huge focus on us. And have you noticed between this season, Beasties, there's been obviously a shift because the writers want to cater more towards the romantic aspect because they know that that's what we like.
Yes.
And it's interesting because the shift happens so quickly, it almost weirds me out. I like it, don't get me wrong, but season 1 was all laying down the foundation, obviously, of everything that was going on with the storyline. Mm-hmm. Kat and Vince had to get to know each other before they could get spicy. They finally do towards the end, and it's like this really passionate, whoa, rip your clothes off, blah, blah, blah. Then we went to season 2 where he had amnesia, and it was just mean Vincent. Mm-hmm. They finally got back together, but the conclusion was he never really fully remembered their past. You know, he was starting anew and he re-fell in love with her, but he only had spurts of memory of their past, right? Okay. Then we jump into season 3 and they're old married couple already.
Oh,
and
they're such an old married couple right now.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm like, they didn't give us enough of that spicy romantic part of their relationship. And then, you know, when they're not doing, I guess, the whole marriage thing, they're like fighting and kicking butt. So it's like, we kind of want to see that part. We've been asking for it, but I don't know. I think it's a little fast as well. And then not to mention that now Heather wants to bring in this wedding and have it be completed in 6 weeks. I'm like,
way too fast.
Way too fast. Slow down a little bit. But I don't know. I think I guess they realize that with everything going on in the relationship, that's one less thing to worry about, you know? I get it, but that's not what marriage is supposed to be, you know?
Right.
Like, at least get to enjoy your relationship and then, you know, take that step. At least that's how I see it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just an interesting, again, not mad at it. Another note I noticed is the music has changed a lot this season, too. Even when there were tough moments when Kat and Carol came back from their, kick-ass fight scene, the music was like, if it was season 2, it would have been some dark music. Depressing, like... introverted, I hate my life music. So it's interesting. They really ran with the concept of BCs don't like what's happening this season. Let's change it and give them what they want. Season 3.
I think so. Yeah, it's the music. It makes it a little lighter of a scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as serious and gory as it was in season 2.
Right.
Which honestly, that kind of messed with, I think, with me a little bit. I was like, this is too serious. Let's lighten it up a bit. Right. So I think they're doing a great job at doing that. Right. I even liked how it was kind of like a Superwoman moment, and I guess we'll get into that a little later, when the two
they're fighting.
When they were fighting and they came out of the car like, hey, Superwoman walking, like they were strutting the runway. It was really cool, Yeah. I kind of like the break from the super dark and gory that they went in season 2. So.
Right. Well, speaking of all that, the one minor gore we had was the shot. You see the dead Agent Reynolds last episode. Now this episode, they're really trying to figure out who the shooter is and this, that, and the third. And even when the first time when Catherine and Vincent start the case and they go into the hospital room and they're trying to figure out who shot him, this, that, and they discovered the bullet that went through the TV, that went through the screen. And I'm thinking, how did nobody else figure that out? You know what I mean? Like, it's taped off. They've obviously probably done a thorough sweep of the room. Nobody else caught that.
Well, keep in mind, too, that the agents, because it was originally Kat and Tess that were doing the investigation,
right? And
then these two mysterious agents came and took over the case, and so they were the ones that were sweeping the room,
right?
They knew what happened. That's true. So they conveniently didn't bring that up. I think more so it was for them to try to keep tabs on Kat and Vincent while they were doing their investigating.
That's true.
That's what I got from that. But yeah, that's probably why no one mentioned it before. And it was like, okay, well, Tess and Kat knew what was going on because they had 2 weeks lead on the case. Right. Yeah.
And I think those were excellent points too in the very beginning when the case was taken from them. Mm-hmm. And Kat's like, dude, we have 2 weeks ahead of you. Like, why are you just stealing this out? So from the get-go, I thought, okay, they're giving me a reminiscence of a Murfield action, even though they're not Murfield. But they seem suspect, but I will say, and you tell me what you thought, but they did trick me. Because at first I hated them, and I thought something's not right. But as soon as they were like, we're married, and da-da-da-da-da, and I thought, oh, okay.
Kind of sweet, right?
Yeah. And I thought, too, when Catherine and Vincent were taken to the precinct to be questioned, and the woman had said, hubby, she's right, we should work together. And I thought, yeah, leave it to the woman to be logical, and we're going to team up now. I like her.
I thought so, too. I actually think that the Halls actually genuinely liked Vincent and Kat also, because they made mention when they were in the water. Right. But I thought it was kind of cool to have like a couple action going on. It was kind of hot too. So I don't know. I also thought they were a little suspicious in the beginning, and I just found it weird that nobody questioned that
where they came from.
DHS is just gonna take over this case. Like, okay, he's the captain, right? No,
which guy?
Oh gosh, I totally don't know his name. The one who took Tess and
yes, I know you're talking about. I don't remember his name either.
Well, either way, I feel like he should probe a little more or pick up for his team and say, hey, this is our jurisdiction.
Right.
Why do you guys just come and take over this case? And there were no questions. It was just like,
you know what I thought was weird? At the very end of the episode, when the boat blows up, and I know I'm skipping ahead, but when the boat blows up, Catherine says to Vincent, just say it was a gas explosion. He'll buy it.
He'll buy it.
And I thought, but why? Why are you keeping this a secret? Because if it were me, and maybe I'm not thinking clearly, I would go up to him and be like, ha, look what you did. You passed this along to some fake people who tried to kill me in the process. Screen your people a little bit more.
True, but at the same time, they're still trying to cover up that they're beasts and all this testing from Muirfield. True. So it's a matter of trying to keep everything on the wraps. That just kind of showed me that their captain or whatever he is, he's a little weak, and they know he's a pushover, her so that they can get away with everything. And I know I'm jumping ahead, but I'm actually really curious to see how Tess handles being captain.
Yes.
So I think that's pretty exciting. And congratulations to Tess. She works really hard for that. So.
Yeah. Sunrise Girl 114 says no one ran a background check on them before the captain brought them in. That concerned me. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Who doesn't do that? Really quickly, before we move on with our show, there is a website. It's called Podcast One, and that's where you can give us some of your feedback. So if there's something you want to tell us, either, hey, you're doing great, or, there are some things you can work on, you can do that at Podcast One. There's a banner above. You just click on it, you give us your feedback, and it helps us improve the show. Okay, back to the show.
Yes.
Okay, so, you brought up Tess, so let's just go ahead and talk about Tess. Okay. She's obviously under a lot of pressure. It was interesting to see her and JT bicker. It was funny, but it was interesting. And here's the thing. Tess, this whole past season, not like the season's been long, but she's really been JT, I can talk. She's been giving him such a tough time about his paranoia, and he has so many legit reasons to be paranoid, but she keeps on brushing it under the carpet, and I don't know why she's doing it.
I honestly feel that Tess sometimes feels like so much is invested in this situation that it could probably just get annoying to her that she just wants to have a normal relationship, a normal life, or talk about something else rather than this beast situation. Because I feel like in the past seasons also, she was like, okay, again, we're still doing this. Like, we're still talking about beasts. We're still fighting off beasts. And I think probably at this point, she just wants the focus to be on something else. Maybe her being captain or trying to be captain. Right. Or like, let's just have a normal relationship, normal life, and not have to focus on this beast activity, you know? So I think that's what that is. I thought it was a little funny that he was trying to hide from her. Like, come on, like
she knows. She's gonna figure it out. Yeah. You're dating a detective.
Really?
Hello.
Yeah, but I liked, and maybe I'm jumping ahead also. I liked how he kind of put her in her place. Like, listen, I have a legitimate reason for wanting to find out what's wrong with me. Like, if they put drugs in me, something could obviously be wrong with me. And I think she needed to hear that because it's like,
Well, here's the thing though. If it was your boo and he went through all this, you'd be a little concerned too.
Listen,
I would be.
I'd probably harass him more about his situation than him.
And you're a detective, so you think her mind would go straight to, okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's make sure you're healthy because I want my man to be okay. Especially finding out the information that they found out before Agent Reynolds passed away, as far as watch out. Yeah. Be careful. And she's making jokes about it, like, oh, your healing powder, ha ha ha. Well, hello.
She's such like the homie, the boy, you know, like your friend. So it's like she's like, pull up your big boy pants and get over this situation. Right. But at the same time, it is a serious situation, and I think that I'm just happy that JT was able to put her in her place and say, listen, we actually have to pay attention to this because this could be a serious issue. You never know. So I like that about that situation with JT and Tess. Yeah.
I will say this. I thought it was really cute because he's not the type of man to put her in her place in a rude way, but at the same time, there's just a time and a place. And when they're at the hospital, and the first thing she says to him is, "What happened?" or whatever she said to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, because I shot myself."
Yeah, that she needed to hear that.
Yes,
too.
Thank you.
Come on, he didn't put himself in the hospital, but I guess you know what? That's just her way of dealing with things. She's like, just like, buck up, like stop fussing so much. What are you doing here? Man up.
She's brothers.
But yeah, I think she means well. But like you said, she has brothers, and so it just kind of comes off the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah. I would like to see them be a little bit more romantic at some point. I get that you're dealing with a lot, but here you got couple number one, Vincent and Cat, trying to work on their romance. They're an even newer couple. You would think somewhere in there they'd, I don't know, find a moment to want to rip each other's clothes off or something.
I mean, okay, maybe. I don't know if I'm too excited about seeing, like, that go down. Because their relationship is more of like a quirky, fun, like play video games type of relationship. But I don't know. I think it could be an interesting twist.
But even romance. And JT has, in the past, given Vincent, in Valentine's Day, he gave Vincent the suggestions and what have you. I'd love to see him do some of that for Tess. And even though Tess is a little bit more on the masculine side, and I don't mean that in a bad way. She's just more tomboyish.
Gorgeous, but...
but I don't know how she would receive it because she comes off to me as the type of girl who may have not had a lot of that treatment. Especially, I mean, she dated a douchebag, first of all, who was trying to keep her in the closet and hide her from his wife.
Hello.
But I would love to see him, in his own quirky way, do some romantic things for her, because she deserves it, because she works hard, because she has been the sidekick for Catherine and all of Catherine's drama, and it's just as hard on her as it is Catherine. So why not have a night where you sit back, rub her feet, and light some candles?
I mean, it would be nice to kind of see them both. Like, I think we mentioned it last episode. You know, to see them both get dressed up, go to a nice dinner, you know, light some candles, maybe take a nice romantic, I don't know, walk or something. That would be nice. Yeah.
One of our Twitter followers actually had made mention. They asked, hold on, it's Billy. Is it Billie Jean? Did you ask me this? I want to make sure before I'm giving shout outs to wrong people.
Well, while you're looking for that, I actually want to tell you guys about a really cool app. And also, just to remind you guys, you know, we here at AFTERBUZZ TV, we provide this for you guys for free, all of our super fans. And to keep us, to allow us to keep doing this for you, we would love for you guys to continue to support our sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, one of our sponsors is Next Issue. It's a Next Issue app. Now, a little bit about it. For those of you who are subscribers to magazines, you know, your favorite magazines might be Allure, Elle, whatever, you name it. There's this cool app. It's called Next Issue. And basically, you can go there and subscribe for only $10
it's $10
a month.
a month, and you get access to all those magazines. And if you're anything like me, I love everything from fitness to travel to Us Weekly, because you know I got to stay up to date on my boy news for my channel. But anyways, and you can do it with something like that. So for $10,
that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you can also get a 30-day free trial by going to nextissue.com/ABTV. So get on it and get your free month and, you know, subscribe. $10 is nothing, and you get all these magazines. So definitely you want to check that out.
Yes. Okay, so Billie Jean Girl 18. Oh, she was just saying that she was right about... Wait. Yes, right about Paranoid. He's freaking... healing powers. Maybe I read that wrong. But she also asked, do you think that Tess is, as captain, do you think she's gonna do a better job catching bad guys? I mean, here's the thing. She actually has this piece of knowledge that nobody else really has, because she is aware of the supernatural and she's aware of the beast. Unfortunately, she has to keep it to herself, but that could help her maneuver around certain situations, and obviously Catherine helping her. But that raises the question, who is going to be Catherine's new partner?
True.
Maybe new characters, maybe?
Maybe she'll go solo. Does she have to have a partner?
Yeah, I think for safety purposes, you
back up. Okay, we'll see. Hopefully it's not, because then she'd have to explain the situation to her.
Or it just would be just more complication, more secrecy, more. There's already so much going on her plate. And going back to Heather really quick, when Heather had the meltdown about the wedding, I thought, God, your timing is so horrible. As it is, they're concerned about this couple trying to murder them or bamboozle them into something. And here's Heather with her book and her pink foo-foo stuff. Like, I need a decision now. Wait, this isn't my wedding. And I'm like, oh, girl, your timing on everything.
Speaking of timing, why does she still have a key to just walk into Kat's apartment?
I know.
Like, all the time, bad time, just walk into the apartment. They need to take the key from
Dude,
her.
After the first shower incident, once nudity is involved, you need to give your key back.
Turn the key in. Come on.
That's too much. Too much. And she's sweet, but she's nosy, and she pries. And the first thing she said, oh, did you guys get in a fight? Girl, it's none of your business. And she's like, I am going to be your sister-in-law. Okay.
No. And then I find, too, that now she's not, she doesn't have a fiancé or a husband on the way. She has all this free time to pry in their business. So it's like, it's not good. And it's good and it's not good because, married couple or relationships, sometimes it's best to keep things away from relatives and friends until you iron out all your issues. Because, I find that family and friends sometimes harbor ill feelings for you, you know?
Yes.
So,
it's interesting, though. These last 3 episodes, Heather's story arc in every single one, in the very beginning of the episode, she's annoying and she's nosy, or there's something about Heather that, and I love her, don't get me wrong, I like her, but there's something where you're like, no, stop that, no, stop. But then somehow, by the end of the episode, she's having a sister-to-sister talk, and it's really mature and really, I don't want to say logical, but they have their reflection in their moments together, which is nice, because we now get the more sisterly element, but I don't know. She keeps starting off one way, and can she just be consistent?
Well, I mean, she's a bald personality, so I guess that comes with her. But I mean, I love her character. I think she's fun, she's refreshing, and when she comes, it's like, you know, comes up, pops up. It just brings that comedic relief that we need. Yeah.
And they really do look alike.
They do.
Isn't that crazy? And they're both so cute. I'm like,
super cute.
Get ugly, God.
No, not possible.
Anyhow, I want to go back to our couple because Carol and Bob were such a huge part of this episode. Everything from the fighting, which P.S. by the way, I love the fight with the high heels with Catherine.
So
yeah. Anyhow, but when they go onto the boat and they come bubbling up with their bomb, and I thought, okay, how does Vincent not hear the ticking, which eventually he does, but it was really late in the story, and I thought that was interesting that it took him that long to hear everything, unless he was so focused on
what was going on at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if now that he isn't beasting up as often, that maybe he's just, you know, a little more tuned into his human
maybe
side.
that's a great point. Maybe.
And that's probably why he didn't, you know, feel the need to have to be alert and checking out for a bomb. That's what I got from it, because that question rang in my head. I think I mentioned to you, like, why isn't he not hearing this?
Yeah.
But you know, I guess when that time comes where he needs to beast up, you know, even Cat saw it.
Now would be a good time.
Now would be a good time.
You know what's interesting though, the way they had it, because obviously this couple, they're concerned about how much Vincent and Catherine know about the experimenting, but at the same, they're slightly super as well too, with the whole 2 bullets ricocheting, which P.S. JT still was the man that figured it out, because when the couples were having their couple bonding and they were in JT's home and he came home, what are you doing? And I thought, ooh, there's a moment where he just got left out. You have the couples being like, oh, hey, hold on. Take Heather's call. I'm getting advice. Marriage advice.
Okay,
this
boss.
is more important. And I thought, ew. Anyway, well, I had a point to bringing that up, and I just lost that. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, so going back to all that and the couple and their power is... I think they said their brain works a little bit faster so they can anticipate what you're doing.
Sort of predict, yeah.
Exactly. Which, first of all, not a very fair fight at all. But I thought, then how did you not see Vincent being a beast coming? I mean, if you can predict the future.
I think it's more so maybe, I don't know if they can necessarily predict the future. It to me, it just kind of seems like maybe they could assume your next step,
right?
You know, like I don't know, a good fighter, or I don't know. But
I took it as, I will say this though, I took it as being able to anticipate their move because visually they can see it, and that's the camera angles we were given, is they can anticipate. So yeah, I just thought it was weird that even 5 seconds before Vincent beasted out, how come it took this guy by such surprise?
I think because he had no clue that Vincent was a beast, because he looked totally surprised when Vincent beasted up on him. I think now he'd be a little more alert and expect that, you know. So that's what I got from that scene. I don't know. I'm interested in finding out what it is that they meant in the end when Carol was like, yeah, we need him to save our asses or something like that. So I was like, well, curious to know from what, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, they're obviously just pawns in a game as well. Yeah. There's always a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Always.
Mirfield.
Billie Jean is asking, do you think that Vincent is too busy and tired to beast out? No, I think that he just hasn't done it in such a long time because he's been so focused on my humanity and normalcy and my hospital job and blah, blah, blah. So he's suppressed it so much that it's just not something that as quickly happens for him.
I think to him,
I don't know if it's tired.
I think maybe he just kind of, if he can battle it out as a human, then he'll do that. Because at the end of the day, he is still a super soldier. I mean, well, he was a soldier first.
Right.
So, you know, he can naturally fight and he can, you know, defend himself and his girl. But I think when it calls for it, that's when he'll be started. I think that's what him and Kat have wanted, you know, to be able to suppress that side of him for a while, to be able to just bring that back out when he needs to, but if he doesn't have to, then just keep it suppressed, you know? So yeah.
Okay, so right now I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you about something really cool, but as I do, people who are watching live, and if you are not watching live and you're catching this later on, don't forget that we do stream on YouTube, podcasters, although we do love you for downloading the podcast, so don't forget. But anyway, I just want to tell you a little bit about something, and as I am, get your phones out so you can start tweeting us any of your thoughts that you want us to bring up for the show right now. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about Dance Battle America, which is something that our boss, our lovely, fearless leader, Maria Menounos from E! has done. So, from our very own AfterBuzz founder, E! host Maria Menounos and Juliana Huff, comes the ABC Dance special, Dance Battle America. During the holiday seasons over the last 2 years, Julian and Maria have engaged in fearsome dance battles via social media. Once the challenge took off, celebrities like Kate Hudson and Amber Riley joined in and the dance battle craze began. Now, the ladies are challenging everyone in America to battle it out for a chance to fly to Los Angeles and compete on the dance show. So, here is an opportunity of a lifetime. If you want the chance to dance on network television, go to www.dancebattleamericacasting.com for more information on how to submit your video. So do a little beastie dance. Hey. And remember, you don't have to be dancing like a pro like Juliana. Just have fun. And that's why Dance Battle got started and why it took off. So once again, submit your dance videos to dancebattleamericacasting.com now. Do not wait. Okay, so while that was happening, my phone did go off, so thank you. Oh, P.S. Speaking of thank you, for the beasties who did subscribe to my channel, thank you so much, because I noticed that my views went up, and I was like, yay, beasties! So we're family, help each other out, and if you haven't already, go to Boys in Beauty with Alikona on YouTube, where we talk all things hot boys, and I give you some really awesome beauty tips from my bathtub. Good times. All right, who do you think Bob and Carol are? I don't know, to be honest with you. Like I said, part of the bigger picture, but I don't know specifically because it's not Murfield. Now, I don't think it is. I think it's I think it's somebody else.
I'm curious to know if like either there was a normal couple before, or were they
that just got super injected. Are they even really a couple though? Is it? I mean, I think they're partners.
Yeah.
Are they romantic?
Their chemistry is really good. I don't know. I'm curious to know if, as it unfolds, we'll definitely find out. But I don't know. The question, who's Carol and Bob?
That's true. Hashtag, who are they? Really? Okay, so we've talked about that. We talked about Tess's promotion. Which will be interesting because I'm wondering if that's going to weed her a little bit out of the storyline in regards to the professional area. I don't think she's going anywhere as far as the show is concerned because she's with JT, but I'm wondering if that's going to create some type of division between her and Kat because her job is important to her and she does have her own life, and that has been a theme with her as far as realizing that she has her own life and not all of her life can be dedicated to babysitting Catherine and her romance and her threats and everything else.
I think at some point she's going to have to put her foot down on certain situations. So, because at the end of the day, she's going to be captain, but there are other cases, there are other situations that, Kat and the rest of the team have to be involved in. And, in the past, Kat has gotten a lot of leeway, or she has not cut corners, but done a lot of things outside of what I guess would be normal for procedures for their station.
Right.
And so I think now with Tess being the captain, you would think that would, be, I guess, a good thing for Kat to get away and do certain things. But I think it's going to put a lot more pressure.
Yes, because then Tess is going to have to now choose what's more important. I want to help my friend, but at the same time, I don't want to lose my job.
Exactly. Ooh, we have to see.
Yeah, it'll definitely, I think, be interesting to say the least.
I mean, one thing I will say about Tess, she's always kept it 100, always keeps it real, and she tells Kat how it is, but I think now with her having that position of power, she's probably gonna have to put her foot down a little more.
Yeah, that'll be rough,
but someone's got to do it. So I think
she's the right person.
But yeah, she's definitely the right person. And I think at the end of the day, Kat respects her relationship with Tess. She respects that she's a good cop. At the end of the day, she is. And so, she'll understand, she'll just have to do her job.
Right. Okay, beasties at home who are watching live, did we miss anything? I know a lot of times we talk a lot, so sometimes we get super excited and I miss a really important point. If not, we'll start getting into some news and gossip, and then you can always tweet me something I quite potentially forgot.
I did want to ask.
Sure.
Okay, so remember Kat was telling Vincent, "Are you still keeping this boathouse as your safety net?" Well, I mean, it's gone now,
right?
But what did you think when you heard that?
I don't think he was keeping it as a safety net, but I do think he was keeping it as his man cave, because you know men like to hold on to their stuff, and it's like their little piece of manhood they have left. Because once you move into a female's house, it's not like they jointly got a place together, and that's the same thing with roommates. If you've ever had a roommate, if you and your friend get a place together, it's ours. We decorate it, we compromise, we figure out what goes with what where. But then when you move into a new roommate's place, you feel like you don't have that say as much because they're already established. I think that's what happened. And I think also Vincent being a gentleman, he's like, oh, I don't want to, but I still like my stuff. So I'm just going to keep some of it on the boat. And if I ever have a moment where I just need some testosterone, I'm going to go over here, and you and your flowers and your vases can stay over here.
I think so too. I thought about it for a second. I was like, I don't think it's a safety net. I don't think, at this point, I don't think he has necessarily commitment issues. I just think he, wants to be able to have his own space sometimes, because everybody wants their own space sometimes. So I think that was probably his reason for wanting to keep the boathouse. Well, it's gone now, so Vincent, you got to find another man cave, maybe by JT's. But I thought it was pretty interesting, and I felt like we should talk about that for a second.
Okay, so really quick, I have an announcement. Because y'all know in my news and gossip, and I'm going to do it tonight, I like to showcase everybody's fan art. So at Mama Beastie gave me some insight that I'll share y'all, and I'm sure most of you guys know, but I just like to say it anyways for anybody who's a new Beastie just catching on to everything. So basically, the BATB FAD, which is Fan Art Dream Team, has a Facebook gallery under construction, or it's been under construction for some time now. They're about to launch it. And let's see here. Notable contributions to the hashtag BATB fan base by FADT is developing. Their mission is to develop quality art for a year, which they've been doing, producing promo posters that have been used online and in print. They introduced the hashtag Beastie Street Team initiative last year, inviting Beasties from all over the country to print out FADT flyers. And they left them all over their communities. And then this spring, they launched hashtag Operation Wear BATB, and they put 60 BATB images on t-shirts. So they sold over 100 of those, and their purpose is to promote Beauty and the Beast with excellence. So now they've put all those images onto Facebook on a gallery so that Beasties, all of you guys, have access to these designs. The whole collection you can download, print, share, whatever you like. If you could, please just don't change to the designs. And if anybody's name is on it, like their artist who designed it, leave that on there. But everybody, it's a community. That's what I love about Beauty and the Beast, is everybody's sharing, everybody's promoting and pushing for the same end goal. And I think that's fantastic.
I do too. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the fact that a TV show can do that, it can bring people from all over the world together who are passionate about something, all ages, all races, all backgrounds. It's a pretty awesome thing. So if you do get a chance, definitely check out their Facebook page. We'll also show in a little bit some fan art, and one of my favorites, maybe I'm just biased, but at Carrie Bear 09 always does amazing art, and she puts them on t-shirts. So you can find her at T Republic, tweet her at Carrie Bear 09 for more information. She can give you a link, but a lot of her artwork is on these really cool shirts, which I will wear one. I have a tank. I'm going to have to wear it. But
yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So you can rock Beasties like to the gym and stuff. There's one, oh my God. So there is one, so I'm going on a tangent. It was art that I put up last year, and it's Vincent, and he's going like this, for those of you who are watching. Hands above his head, and you just see abs, and there's fire coming everywhere, but it's coming out of his pants.
Sounds pretty hot.
Yeah, I don't know, I would wear that to the gym all day, every day.
But all day.
Anyway, okay, going back to my actual news and gossip, if we can start pulling up some pictures, that would be amazing. So this first picture is of Kristin Kreuk. She's been a part of something called Canada Reads, which is an initiative to obviously get people inspired to read books, and she gets to do a debate and battle out with other people, other celebrities, their favorite books, and talk about why it's so wonderful. So if you are listening to the podcast, I'm just going to read this quote out loud for you. I encourage everyone to learn as much as they can about this topic. It's incredibly important. Read this book, and it's called Intolerable. And I do know it's about human rights because she's very huge into that. She does have a production company, and she had started doing some stuff. And then recently, I had actually talked to Austin Basis, and he said on her breaks that has been a huge focus, creating content that involves women, especially women in Canada, because she really wants to push for her people, if you will, for lack of better words, to really get themselves involved. And I think that's a fantastic thing that she's doing.
Kudos to you, Kristin. I think that's an awesome initiative.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Let's move to our next picture. Okay, so now we are getting into artwork. And you guys, I love when, if you guys are going to submit me artwork, on the bottom you'll see in the corner it says designed by Sandra K. Please put your name on there. Because I send so many things and it doesn't always go in the same order that I send it. So even if I write down your Twitter handle, it's hard for me to keep track of what goes with what. But I love showcasing your work. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one was a design. It was actually for Jay Ryan's birthday. I remember she said she drew it for him. And again, I'm so sorry, you guys. If I can go into my Twitter. I know.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's go to the next.
Look at the details on that.
Oh, you know, the name was down there. I'm so sorry. Here's another one. I love these. I love the little montages and promotions.
Yes.
And this is obviously part of the fan art that people were using to promote the show and get other people interested. And I think you guys are doing an amazing job of getting people intrigued, because if I pass this poster, I'd go, ooh, what is that? What's that about?
That's a pretty sensual.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. I like this one a lot. So for those of you who are listening, it's Jay Ryan. He's in a t-shirt with his hands above his head holding onto it. Looks like a pipe, but he has these tattoos under his arm.
The ATV roar?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's sexy.
So cute.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next one. This one is actually really cool too. It's a promo poster with all the cast, and it says, first he had to save himself, then he was compelled to save her. How must they save humanity? So I'm reading from a distance, so I apologize if that was choppy.
The name is over there in the corner, but it's a little tiny.
Well, I hope you guys can read up. Can you scroll the picture up, please, sir?
Next way.
The way. The way.
Down.
And oh, at Kel Pack. Kel_Pack. Yes. And then let's go to our next picture. And again, forgive me if I don't get your names on here because it's so hard for me to. I love this picture too.
So
it's a picture of Jay Ryan obviously eating. It's like somebody caught him. Like, what?
Eating
I didn't eat ice cream. What are you talking about?
Ice cream?
No, I left some for you. Yeah, Cat. I didn't eat it all. No. Okay.
Oh, I like this. This is cute.
Yeah, next. Okay, so this is actually a t-shirt design. You guys can buy this from at CarrieBear09 on T Republic. Yes, please, because that's so far away I can't read it on my screen. But these are the definitions of what it means to be a certified beastie, and Austin Basis actually helped her come up with these definitions. So you have official definitions from Mr. JT Forbes on this t-shirt. So check that out at CarrieBear09. Cool. Put that together. All right, here's some more fantastic art. He saw the darkness in her. She saw the beauty in his darkness. Cute. I really like that.
That's a nice picture.
Yes.
I'm loving Cat in that dress and the roses. That's really, really nice.
Oh, she sent me this one too. And my gosh, I'm so sorry. I like I said, it's so hard for me to keep track of all the names. So if you guys can please put your names on the artwork, that's awesome. I want to say it's Chim Art, and that's I'm afraid to say out loud in case I say it wrong. I'm so sorry, guys, but thank you so much for sending me this amazing art. You guys are super talented. That's one thing beasties are, very talented.
Yes, they are. These are all actually really, really nice. So shout out and kudos to all of you.
Yes, and if you want your artwork to be featured, A, tweet me. B, I do believe we have to follow each other in order for me to get your DMs. So, yay, we have new followers. Anyway, but you can DM me your pictures. And if your picture did not make it on tonight, I try to pick one at least from everybody because some people sent me 4 or 5. And I will disperse it throughout the season. So keep sending me all your good, yummy stuff.
You guys can also send it to me too.
Yes.
If, you can't get a hold of Alikona hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Did I skip any? Are there more? Oh, there's one last one that I like too. This was a last minute entry. And I can't read it because, again, it's so far away from me, unfortunately,
They look like a superhero team.
United we stand, divided we fall.
Yes.
We do not. Okay, the picture got moved. I'm sorry, I can't finish your sentence. Whoa. United we won't fall. Anyways.
Yep, there we go.
Awesome pictures. And for those of you listening to the podcast, I am so sorry. I'm trying my best to give you guys visuals, but check us out on YouTube. You can see all that, but please, we still enjoy you as a podcast because you listen to us while you're driving and all sorts of good stuff. Anyhow, let's get into some predictions.
And now,
I don't know.
your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so let's get into predictions. I still am hypothesizing, and I know I won't let it go, but Heather keeps bringing up her fiance and it sucks to be broken up and blasey, blasey, blasey. Girl, he is going to come back and he's going to come back and he's going to be the head of everything that's going on. And the only reason he dated you was to find out who your sister was, where she lives, and how he can get in touch with her.
That's crazy.
My prediction.
But you know what? The more that I'm hearing you say that, the more it makes sense. My predictions, I think that Bob and Carol are going to capture Vincent.
Oh, they'll come back. They'll come back. I don't...
Because they're saying they have to bring him back somewhere. So I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's something I thought. And I also thought that we kind of mentioned it earlier that Tess might have to be in a predicament with Cat as captain. They might have a falling out. I saw that too. So we don't know.
The only thing I will say as a rebuttal to your comment earlier as far as Vincent getting captured, they could do that. If they did do that, honestly, me personally, I'd be a little disappointed only because at the end of season 1, we had the first big capture at the season finale, and that's when he lost his memory, blah, blah. So if they captured him again, bad guys, I'd feel like it was very generic. And it would have to be something where they capture him and he gets away like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
If anything, it would be turned around, and I think they would capture Catherine because she's the one without the power, and she'd be easier to capture.
You know what? At the end, when Bob did have the rifle shot and he wanted to shoot her, and it was like, no, what are you doing? That makes sense.
And what it could do is fuel the fire, because maybe he's like, okay, I want to see what this beast is capable of. She obviously can't beast out because she woulda. Yeah. So let's get him real angry. Let's see what he can do. And maybe let's try to get him on our side, which we know is not going to happen. But that's just me.
I had one more prediction.
Sure, go for it.
JT with his now super healing power.
Thank you for bringing that one.
I think that some situation might happen where he might end up having to save one of his friends. I don't know if maybe, he takes a bullet or he gets hurt for them, or even, I don't know, maybe use his blood to create a serum or something to save somebody else. So
that would be cool. Carrie Barrow 9 says, do you think that JT is going to be able to heal others? That'd be very interesting, especially if it wasn't not necessarily with his blood, but even with his touch.
Yeah, that might be cool.
Yes. Now, really quick, I have to correct something because maybe I did this completely wrong. Carrie's saying that Lover Dove Pro created that one. And I don't know if that means the t-shirt design that you're telling me she created. And if so, I'm so sorry I misquoted and didn't give you credit. I know she did design stuff, though. Great stuff. So I'm sorry. I'm going to let you talk for a second. I'm going to look through my Twitter and see if I can scroll through and at least find some names of people, because I feel terrible sharing all this fantastic art and I don't have everybody's names attached to it. So at least if I can find it and try to give some shout outs. Yeah,
definitely. And I just also want to remind you guys, if you do want to send some art my way, I'd love to take a look at it. You can send it to @Janeisha_MissVI on Twitter, and you add me, I'll add you back so we can DM each other. And of course, I also would love to hear you guys feedback on the show, what you think was pretty interesting to you, and any of your predictions for the next episode.
Sorry guys, I'm Twitter slow. Well, maybe I can do it on my text messaging. No, I can't. Okay, here's a way to do it. Yes, @KelPack, she did send me a few. @Chimera sent me some stuff. Yes, Lover Dove Productions. Sorry. She actually emailed me some stuff. That was awesome. Who else sent me stuff? Let's see. Sorry. Okay. I don't know. If I did miss... I can never say that. Patty N. Lecky? Or is it Patty-N? Is that your name? She sent me some cool stuff too. And yes, okay, so if I left you out, I do apologize. And again, please put your name on the artwork so that way it's easier for us to keep track who did what.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that wraps up tonight's show. I'm going to direct you to the front and just say thank you so much for tuning in. Again, please do not forget to support AfterBuzz by subscribing and going on to Podcast One. Do not forget to support your host by following us. And if you have a YouTube, do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't. But follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And @Janeisha_MissVI.
Yes, I'm on Instagram too. Boys and Beauty Alikona, and I do fun memes with really hot men. So I mean, you can't really lose with that one and all that good stuff. All right, we had a fantastic time with you. Thank you so much for participating on our hashtag. And if you're not doing it today, you can do it next week. But we will see you next week. Okay, bye guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.